rise for the allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. Today is April 9th, 2018. Can I have a roll call, please?
Basil.
Here.
Meyer. Here. Kraus.
Here.
Missouri. Here. McConnell.
Here.
Whaling.
Here. We have the minutes from March 26th. Are there any changes or corrections? If not, is there a motion?
Make a motion.
There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a second. Any questions to that motion? Roll call.
Basil.
Yes.
Meyer. Yes. Kraus.
Yes.
Missouri. Yes. Kraus.
Yes.
Whaling.
Yes.
Anyone from the audience wish to address the board?
Either one of the two.
No, three. Beautification Commission, buddy.
We have a meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock to discuss upcoming events. That's all I have.
4th of July Commission, Trustee Meyer.
Well, bids will be open on the raffle car on April 11th, and the village board will consider bids at the next meeting. 4th of July Commission will be meeting on Thursday, April 19th at 6:30 at Village Hall. That is all I have.
Youth Commission, Trustee Missouri.
All I have is Mother's on Dance is coming up, April 14th. As of last night, we had 126 registered, so that sounds pretty promising. And our meetings are the third Wednesday of every month, right here at the Village Hall, 7:30 p.m. If anyone would like to attend, that's all I have.
Thank you. River of Hope, Trustee Basil.
We have set a dedication date of May 20th at 2 p.m., Sunday, May 20th at the Ribbon. So that's all I have at this time.
Historic Preservation, Trustee Ray.
We're looking at, we had our meeting the third Wednesday. We're looking at picking out some more properties for the plaques. We also meet on the third Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Depot. That's my report.
Treasurer's report, Karen.
Donna?
All right, the total of the village accounts is $2,350,971. The total of the commission accounts, $187,753. Total of all accounts together, $2,538,725. Total in general is $705,122. The total of the commission bills and non-AP payments, $196,061.31. Nothing unusual in there, a couple of bills for Ribbon of Hope, but other than that, all of the standard bills.
Any questions? If not, I'd like to make a motion approving the treasurer's report for and the financial activities for the prior month.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor and there was a second. Any questions to the motion? Roll call.
Whaling.
Yes.
McConnell.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Basil.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I believe Donna's got something else.
I do.
Yes.
I just wanted to, in your packet, last month and this month again, I believe, was some information about the water billing, the different cycles. The first one that I was going to review is the pie charts and the distribution of water bills. 90% of our residents still utilize the mailing. 10% are utilizing the email of their water bill. As far as the payments, we've got 70% that pay by check. Where is it? 13% are paying by auto draft, 11% by credit card, and 6% are paying by cash. On the next chart, the bar graph, you'll see the types of payments. You'll see that people who pay with cash stays pretty steady. People paying by check is declining because more people are utilizing the credit card and the auto draft. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Okay, and that's really about it, unless anyone has any questions.
When you pay by credit card, is that automatic, or do you have to actually come in here and use the credit card?
Well, it's a little bit of both. The majority of them actually go on our village website and use the e-pay system, which we are going to be upgrading to make it even a little more user-friendly, where they can store some of their information instead of having to re-enter everything all the time. But then we do have people that come in and, use their credit card here. One of the biggest things is we're going to take Visa real soon, which the residents have really wanted.
Is there a service charge for that?
There is, a little over 2%, which is why the people that come in, I ask them if they want to sign up for auto draft because there's no charge for that. Comes out on the due date and it doesn't cost them anything.
Do you look at any, I know you and I talked one day about billing, about maybe changing like the font or the color or something.
Oh, right, yeah.
I mean, I do auto draft now, just but when I got that bill, I look at the date, I look at the amount, and whatever's in between is plus.
Right. Right, and what we were discussing was, on the water bills, I always put a little note of some sort, dog tags on sale, things of that nature. Nobody ever seems to see that. And I think that's probably part of the reason why. Different font, different color, something that's going to draw their attention. So I have to talk to our vendor about changing that.
All right, variance reports for the preceding month are enclosed for your review. Any questions on those? If not, the approval of the bills for the prior month. I think everyone got them emailed out. There's a couple highlighted items on there. Give everybody an opportunity to look those over. Okay. If there's no questions or concerns with the bills, I'd like to make a motion approving the bills for $117,806.57.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There is a second, any questions on the motion? Roll call.
Basil?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Missouri? Yes. Capros?
Yes.
Whaling?
Yes.
All right, continued discussion on the proposed budget for the fiscal year 2018-2019. This is the last opportunity to discuss the budget prior to the posting on the village website and a notice of public hearing for the April 23rd meeting. Any last minute changes?
Yes, for the police budget, the hourly salary for part-time officers is gonna go up to $20 an hour. There will not be any changes to the line item. There will be less hours, but the same exact budgeted amount. It discusses with the chief and feels that's enough hours still to cover everything we need to cover. But that's what the rate's going up to. I mean, it's what we pay them now is dismal. Usually the security job at $22 an hour and mileage. So, $20 an hour is a good start to get part-timers in here, which we're going to do soon anyways.
But the bottom line is not changing.
No, the bottom line will not change, just the hours. Actually, the hours will be less, hourly amount will be more.
Okay. All right.
We've got one other change to consider. We were approached by the township about putting up an LED community sign in front of City Hall.
Township and the chamber.
And the chamber, has the chamber voted on it yet, though? I don't know if they have.
They have placed it both in their budgets, they haven't voted on it yet, to my knowledge.
Neither board has voted on it. But they were asking if we wanted to partner in the project by investing $10,000 in this sign, which is gonna have an estimated project cost of about 30 grand. It would be located in front here. We would probably operate it from in the office here. And there would be rules and protocols set up, you know, so you don't see Waltz has eggs, a dozen eggs on sale. And that's not appropriate signage for in front of City Hall. It would be community events and things of that nature, very similar to what they're doing with the static sign in front of the nursing home. Now, this would be reserved cash. We don't have money in our budget for an operating revenue increase to offset this, but it's up for discussion. It came on us at the last minute, well, last week this came up. And the chambers included it, but they haven't officially voted on it. But the executive board voted to put it in their budget, and the township has it in their budget, although it hasn't been formally adopted yet.
Give you a little more background. Apparently the township was considering on putting an LED sign over on their property off of Indiana, and they felt that would not be served very well over there because of the amount of traffic, and they thought it would work better here. The chamber has been for quite some time now trying to accumulate some of their money for an LED sign. And bottom line is they're proposing a three-way split. We, if this were to be approved by everybody, excuse me. If this were to be approved, we would take the lead. We would pick out the sign, location, type. Just to give an example, I ran it by Marcy and Scott as chair. He's a building and grounds or community relations, but we ran it by them real quick just to see if we wanted to go any further with it. And they were positive. The one sign that, I don't know, for some reason or other, the sign that's on Indiana Avenue down by Wolf Center, Little Township, that seems to be a very nice, clean sign, and I can picture that very nicely out here. It's not too big, it's not too small. But again, we're just looking, it's just an idea. So whatever ideas, whatever committee's gonna take, Bob's will do research once everything's approved, and then you guys can, whatever committee you decide on.
It appears that we take the lead on the selection of the sign, the bid process.
Yeah, we've been asked to take the lead.
Everything else. Yeah.
So are they donating the money to us? Or is this, I mean, is this gonna be agreement, intergovernmental agreement, or? We just don't know yet?
My understanding is they would donate the money to us.
Okay.
Somebody's gotta take the lead, it's on our property, we should be in charge of it. I've already explained to them, like Bob said, I even went further than, you know, you have to be careful what's on that sign. It's mainly civic-minded events, whether it be the youth commission, whether it be Easter egg hunt, whether it be, I could even see just congratulating a business for having 100 years of Beecher or something like that. But again, we want to be careful on what we do and how we do it. We've been told that.
And from what I understood, we don't actually have any quotes, we don't know what the sign would cost.
No.
It's like kind of a not to exceed, because they're giving 10 apiece, it doesn't necessarily have to be a $30,000 sign, it's just, you know, we don't know what it's gonna cost.
We did very preliminary research on it once before, and so did the chamber, if I remember right. If you take the example of the fire department sign, take the example of the Will Center sign, I believe that Will Center sign, I thought I heard was 30 grand.
Fire district was close to that too.
So, bottom line is we only have 30 grand, so it's.
Is that installed 30 grand?
Yeah.
Yeah. And going again, now, you can make it 3 million by making it an all brick monument, you know, that's not our intent, so.
That's my name.
The whole sign's
You
probably
got a
be,
budget packet, I didn't expect anything like this.
I said you.
What are you talking about, all settled down?
It'd probably go in general. We'd have to show 10,000 in reserves like we did for the mural that we cut. We would probably show the same as the mural was, and just put village's portion of LED sign, and then show 20,000 in intergovernmental revenue, and then 30,000 expense side for the project.
Do they know when they're gonna get their approval to
Probably the next 30 days, I guess. Yeah.
They've already got two, Sam talked to both of them, it's already in their budget, they just didn't formal approval.
Yeah, this was not our initiative, they came to us with it.
I think it's a good idea.
We've always wanted one, so.
That, I think is my concern as far as the quality of the sign, you know, because we had talked about this a long time ago, and we couldn't do it at the time, but I'm just wondering what we can do for 30 grand.
Well, I mean, bottom line is, this is all we're asking for now, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's just,
We would actually have to apply for a special use permit and go through that process ourselves, so PCC gets a crack at it.
So what,
Yeah.
we just wanted to make sure that we have
No,
some.
we won't charge us
what fund would you put this out of?
general.
Expenditure?
We could probably put it in buildings or capital projects, one of the two. It'd probably be 30 on the expense side and 20 and 10 on the revenue side, in general. It's not shown in there now because we haven't done it.
So what do you need from us now? I mean, our budget starts May 1st.
Well, we want to add it to the budget for the hearing, if this is what you want to do.
And all we were looking for is if you added in the budget, at least we knew there was some approval of some sort for us to start at least doing the research. We don't want to do a lot of research and start doing this and then find out that we're not gonna do it. And who knows, that may end up being that way when we find out we can't afford one of these things even at 30 grand. That's gonna happen.
I think it's a good idea, but I think that my concern is when we sat down and did the budget, we were hemming and hawing and going back and forth with things we wanted to do, like the quiet zone. And we weren't sure where that was coming from, and we figured it out. And even though it's just $10,000, do we have it somewhere openly? That's my concern. We had issues with that quiet zone, so I'm a little bit, even though it's just 10,000, I'm a little nervous about that.
I guess, look, you know, when we, kind of following off of what Stacy said, I mean, when we discussed this, I mean, we're taking and not using reserves for the quiet zone. We're actually placing a due to onto our reserves, onto the general fund to cover the cost of the quiet zone. Now we want to add another 10. I mean, that was the idea of, I think, kind of mixing the mural. I mean, when that falls in too, I mean, we're gonna have a due to on the general
That's why we're discussing it, John.
for, I mean,
We can wait a year, it's just, again, I was told about it, and I'm bringing it to the board now, if you wanna wait a year, because you're not comfortable with it, that's fine too.
you know, in here's, I'm, just because something gets put in a budget, doesn't mean it gets expended. And, I mean, another way is, even if it's not in the budget, you can still do a motion to, for
For
a
supplemental appropriation.
supplemental
Which we're gonna
appropriation
do
for
next
an
meeting.
unbudgeted item.
Which we're gonna do next meeting for the dump truck.
And if this comes up in the middle of the year, I would feel more comfortable personally if it wasn't in the budget. Still open-minded, I agree with it. I'd like to see it. But my main concern is that as we move forward, our bond rating and falling below the dollar amount of reserve cash in the general fund, and if we get through the year and we see where numbers come in with the quiet zone, what we're actually gonna be placing as a due to, and as the year goes on, I mean, I would have no problem doing a supplemental appropriation and saying, let's take 10 grand out of reserves and do this project in the middle of the budgeted year. You can do that.
That was another alternative Bob did suggest, yes, whether we put it in the budget tonight or whether we did the supplemental later.
The way we're trending right now, I'm gonna guess that general is gonna increase its fund position by about 55,000, even though.
General, I mean, looks great.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at it
until we
today, I
budgeted
mean,
50,000 in
where we've
deficit
been
spending.
over years past, I mean,
Yeah. But John, at least
it's trending in a positive direction.
Here's another problem, what if that sign comes in at 50? Then what are you gonna do?
So it says we haven't gotten any quotes, we don't know what it's.
You gotta
I would say,
Yeah.
you know, as a project, I would say still move forward with it and do the investigative work and everything else, and I would just leave it out of the budget, and if we're comfortable and we see where we're at the end of the after we receive our property taxes, our second payment would be in September. We usually get some, this is a question more for Jeanette, our clerk, but usually it's trickled in and done by the end of the calendar year, right, Jeanette?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're halfway through the year, come November, December, you can really start looking and have a good idea of, your other revenues are kind of set, you see where you're coming in with the property taxes, and you can make that decision then.
It's fine, as long as we're in favor of the project, that's where.
Yeah, I'm definitely in favor of it, without a doubt, without a doubt.
Normally, we would not have had even probably this chance to talk about it anymore, because we would already passed the budget process. But since we had one more meeting, we decided to bring it up back to talk about the supplemental down the road, so that's fine.
We got one to pass on the dump truck, John, the next meeting, before the fiscal year ends. Remember, we bought that truck?
Yeah.
That was not in the budget.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for the budget?
We'll go ahead and post it.
Number 10.
Number 10, okay. Consider a 5-year agreement in the amount of $495 per year to the village and a service fee of $12.95 per year to the tester of cross-connection protection devices in the village. There are approximately 200 to 300 cross-connection devices in the village. They need to be tested and certified annually per the IEPA. This is a third-party vendor that will administer our program for a period of 5 years, keep us in compliance with the annual certifications. They process all tests and provide reminders to the customers for the tests to be done each year. I mean, Buddy, if you want to add anything to it, I mean, it's the RPZ valves. Businesses and that got them, and
You know, I've waited
Be
this,
done yearly.
yeah, these guys have been out for over 4 years. I waited a couple years to see how the other towns reacted to it. Crete uses it, Moni uses it, everybody does. It's almost a nightmare to keep it tracking of it. The costs that we're paying there, our postage alone, if we were to do this the right way, sending out the flyers and giving them, back, it would cost more than this, so, Donna was there. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Donna?
Yeah, I was real impressed. I mean, sending out letters to everyone twice a year. We can run any kind of reports that the IEPA needs, right on top of everything. I don't know what your current process is, trying to maintain all of that paperwork, but I can imagine it's a nightmare.
It is. It's very hard to regulate.
For $500 a year, I thought it was a good deal.
You can afford the postage at $500 a year.
No.
The other thing some towns do, and we chose not to do, is increase the fee, to actually make an administrative fee on top of $12.95. We
Right.
decided we didn't want to do that. Just keep it, other towns have, they've gone, I think Chicago Heights is at $25, and they
Right.
pocket half, and the vendor pockets half, but we thought, we don't want to do that.
Plus, they take the phone calls too. When a person calls up or they have a question about it, they will answer it and tell them what the compliance is. At the end of the day, then we get a report back, and they're either gonna be in compliance within a certain period of time, or they're not, and that's when, fines will come in, or their water will be shut off.
But the tester is working with this company.
Right.
Not
Correct.
the village resident or the customer.
Nope.
The customer hires a tester, the tester deals with
Yes.
this vendor.
Yep, we're completely out of it.
Alright, I'll go ahead and make a motion to enter into a 5-year agreement in the amount of $495. Who is the company?
BSI.
What is it?
BSI.
I'll make a motion, to enter into a 5-year agreement with BSI in the amount of $495 per year for, handling the testing of cross-connection protection devices within the village.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Meyer. Yes. Basil.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take the last one. The Illinois Public Risk Fund is our workman's comp pool. State laws have changed regarding workers' compensation, which requires them to change their bylaws. According to our broker, there's very little change that will affect the village as a result of this, but every client of the Illinois Public Risk Fund has to adopt the bylaws through IGA. And that's basically it.
Any questions on that? Someone like to make a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion made, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Basil?
Yes.
Meyer? Yes. Kraus?
Yes.
Missouri? Yes. Caprows?
Yes.
Whalen?
Yes.
Any old business to come before the board? Any new business to come before the board?
Yeah, I got one thing. I just wanted to bring it up to the board. You'll see in the budget, that we got, full-time hire, in the street department, we got, a full-time position for that MM1. In the meantime, I've talked with Bud, and the department would like to, hire a second part-timer, using the money where we're not spending on a full-time employee. The first part-timer's already budgeted, but who knows when we'll get that hire done. I mean, applications aren't even done till after this budget's done, but, I mean, Floyd is done and retired by the time this budget starts. So I'm okay with it. I just wanted to make sure everyone else was, that, I mean, we'd stay within the budgeted dollar amounts of salaries for the street department, but, to make up for time till we get somebody hired in replacement of Floyd, who's budgeted there, I'd like to be able to hire a second part-time guy, because the department will be a man short. So, anyone have any problems? All
Who's
good?
gonna advertise for the part-time, or?
Yeah,
We already have.
yeah, we already did a while ago,
I
yeah,
think those closed. did
Yeah,
not?
they closed last Friday.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, rather than hiring the one that we have budgeted, it'd be nice to have a second one where we could bring them in a few days a week or whatever. And then by the time, yeah, the other part of this that, I bring up is, who knows, I mean, you have a part-timer, I believe, that currently is part-time, that applied for the full-time position. If that's the route we go, and they were to get hired, you're gonna need a part-timer anyway, so. But, anyway, just wanted to bring that up, thank you.
Any other new business?
One thing, Mayor, starting Sunday night, we will be doing the spring flush. Signs will be out this week, probably starting tomorrow. And the following, this next Friday coming up, or Monday, we will be picking up the street sweeper, and the next 3 days we'll be sweeping the town during the day.
So that'll be the day of the next board meeting.
It'll be like the 23rd, sound right? Yes?
Yep.
I do not have a reason to go into executive session, therefore is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any questions, Emma? Roll call.
Whalen?
Yeah.
Caprows?
Yes.
Missouri? Yes. Kraus?
Yes.
Meyer? Yes. Basil?
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.